All right.
All week long.
All rise, order in the court. Not just a trailer with an ocean view. You want a cliff too beside it, of course. Very important. Oh, Fred Franklin. Hello, everybody else. We got a case. Myself, Credence, and Mikey, the legend down there.
By the way, did you play any sound effects during that opener? Because I didn't hear any of them.
Yeah, I did. Did you not hear that?
I didn't even hear the banging of the gavel. That's crazy.
Are you not hearing that?
Nah, I don't hear it.
Anybody else?
Is anybody hearing anything from Creed other than his voice?
Huh?
Because I was like sitting there like, are we gonna start playing in here? What are we doing?
They're playing.
Okay, I see some nopes and some laugh out louds down there. So
you're not hearing it. What? How is that even possible?
I don't know. Yeah, I think the consensus is no.
All right. How about from court?
Well, that's my courtroom, so you're not going to hear them.
I don't know. I just turned mine on.
Yeah, I don't hear nothing. Nothing from you. I say nothing.
What?
Yeah, nothing. Just your voice. It's your lovely, lovely voice. Can you guys hear this?
Oh, Rich, this is your dad.
Hey, Bob. All right. The only thing I can think of is to do this then for the moment.
Creed needs to fix something. Well, he's fixing that. We're going to jump over to this courtroom that apparently everybody decided to get really quiet in. Well, we're waiting for them to start talking again. I'll say hello to everybody. Remember that your likes are almost like coming up to me.
Here at Jackson, file 246.
It's saying, hey, Mikey, you're doing a good job.
Let's
get into some action with Jesse. Well, it's Jess. Jess O. Jack.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you call Kiara Jackson?
I don't know if that's a real name or not.
Sorry. Your Honor, Andrew Meyer on behalf of Kiara Jackson. Ms. Jackson, could you unmute and state your name for the record?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Kiara Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Your Honor, this is the time and date set for a pretrial in this matter. I have had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Jackson.
All right, so you can't hear
discuss
Deuce, right?
The case against her, the possible evidence that could be presented at trial, any potential defenses, and a plea offer that's been extended by the state, wherein Ms. Jackson would be entering a guilty plea to count 2, failure to. Actually, Your Honor,
are you going to get it to 622?
that's what I wanted to ask, and I just realized that.
Okay.
But
World's
You know what I'm
dumbest
saying,
attorney.
Ms. McDuffie? Would you let him plead to 622 instead of 620? No points.
1 second, John.
and I apologize. I would have normally caught that.
Yeah.
Well, the offer was to plead his charge to count 2. And Mr. Meyer was getting ready to say, and then an added count of operating while visibly impaired.
I don't know what to do, though.
The higher charge.
I don't hear
So
anything.
the offer was just to plead the charge to count 2. That's fine. We can reduce count 2 to the failure to report an accident of 100.
She
Sorry,
said it's
1,000
fine.
more.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. So with that being said, I believe the offer is to plead to an added count 3 of operating while visibly impaired, as well as an added count 4 of failure to report.
I thought they meant visually
collision.
impaired, like they needed glasses and didn't wear them.
622-57622, and then counts
Not
1
to
and 2 would be
derail
dismissed.
our entire stream, but let me just to make sure you cannot hear audio.
Nah. Is there any? You can hear the audio from that.
From mine, yeah, I just turned
It's
mine on.
something that's pushed. That's a button or something. The cat stepped on something probably, or
No, because I don't. This is really. Doesn't work that
All
way.
right, Ms. Jackson, do you wish to do that?
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth,
Captain,
and
good to
nothing
see you.
but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna put your hand down, please, for us and the record, spell both your first name and spell your last name.
And while she's spelling, I want to thank everybody for being here.
JACKSON.
Thank you.
Texas
Ms.
mama bear.
Jackson, you now have two added charges that are reductions of the two charges that you were originally charged with.
And
The
welcome back to
reduction in
Facebook.
Count one is to count 3 from operating while intoxicated to operating while visibly impaired. That carries up to 93 days jail, a $300 fine plus cost fees, assessments, other expense, cost recovery, any restitution. It also carries fewer points than the
You still
first
hear
one.
me?
The second
Yeah.
one
You're
is
perfect.
failed to report a crash under a different section. And that allows for you to plead to fail to report 90-day, $100 fine misdemeanor, but no points added on as well. So you're pleading to the two charges that are reduced, and you heard what the balance, the
Yeah,
maximum.
there is,
penalties
Mary.
are. You still want me to continue
Tons of
taking your plea?
Yes.
Okay. The agreement is to dismiss the more serious count 1 and count 2. Is there anything else that's been promised to you to get you to do this?
No.
Oh, he's
And
like a cat,
is
chit-chat.
anybody, and I'll ask, you would confirm that, Mr. Meyer? No other promises?
Yes, Your Honor, no other promises here.
And the prosecution as well, Ms. McDuffie?
Nothing known to the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. Has anybody threatened you or forced you to do this?
No.
Are you making this decision of your own free will?
Good to see you,
Yes.
Carol.
Now, Mr. Meyer would have discussed with you your trial rights, the right
I think
to a jury
Jess-
trial, a bench trial,
Jess,
the rights you would have.
Jack is
in
just there to
one of
check
those
things
two
out.
trials, all the rights you have, as well as the right to have them represent you. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you understand that by entering a plea here today to both of these reduced charges, that you will not have a trial of any kind? So that means you're giving up, waiving your trial rights. And you understand?
Give it a $2.
So let's talk about what happened, kind of briefly here. March 18th of this year, 2022. So that's what we're talking about. On
Mhm.
that day, were you operating a motor vehicle in the city of Ypsilanti to a spot eventually at or near West Michigan and North Huron Street here in the city?
Yes.
When you got to that location, were you involved
Oh,
in some
Miller.
sort of a crash?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
I was on the way to my mom's house and we had just left from a bar. So that's kind of like how it happened.
She was at a
So
bar.
what were you, we were driving along and then what happened?
It was like I hit like a curb.
Okay, so you're driving, then you hit the curb. Did you, did you hit any other vehicles or hit anything other than your car hitting the curb?
Yes, I hit another car that
Okay,
was
so you hit the curb, hit
parked
another,
on Michigan Ave.
was the
Hit a
car
curb, hit a
parked or
car.
was it mobile?
Parked on Michigan Ave.
Okay, so did you stay there and leave your information and call the police or did you drive off?
I drove off. I got
Hit and run.
Okay.
picked up.
All right, and so they picked you up down the road. Did they, before you did all of this, had you been drinking some alcohol or taking some other intoxicating substances before this?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about what you were doing.
I was drinking. I was out with a couple friends and family members.
What'd you drink?
Drinking with friends and family? What were you drinking,
Yes.
basically?
Mixed drinks.
Okay,
What kind?
were you
Zombie.
in a bar or
Bloody
were
Mary.
you at somebody's house?
A bar.
A bar.
What bar were you at?
Um,
Or more than one?
no, it wasn't more than one. I just
Okay.
can't remember the name of
Okay.
it.
It's all right.
Uh,
You
I was
were at it,
so
but you were
drunk.
getting the drinks from the bartender, basically, or the wait, or the server, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so that went through
Okay.
there, and do you know or remember how many you may have had over some period of time?
Um,
If you do,
I can't remember exactly how many.
There
okay.
you go.
And so the police were interviewing you, talking to you, they had stopped you and going over this. You
Do
did your
bars sell
sobriety
like all the
test.
people?
Did you
Or-
end up going back to the police department for that breath test at the station, or did they take you to the hospital for a blood draw?
At the station.
Okay, and Ms. McDuffie, do you know the numbers?
Your Honor, I have a data master at 0.13 and 0.14.
Okay. And based on the numbers as they were, uh,
It's
do
high,
you
but
think
not
that you
crazy
were at
high.
least impaired at the time that happened? Maybe you weren't judging the curb distance in car?
Yeah.
Has the court complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor, people are satisfied. Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
defend-
Your
I'm
Your
sorry.
Honor, I'm sorry, did we determine that the estimated value of the damage to the other vehicle was at least $1,000?
We did not, but you damaged the car, and what did you hit, the rear end or the side?
The side.
Okay, was there like the back quarter panel or what was damaged that turned out to be?
Does he want her to become a mechanic all of a sudden? Was it the rear quarter panel? Did you think it needed an alignment afterwards? By the way, thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate it. Creed will be back as soon as he fixes a technical issue. But we're gonna go on. We're gonna do our thing. Let's go.
I'm not sure actually.
Okay,
And defense can stipulate if he would like, but it's significant damage to the looks like to the rear. Yeah, to the rear and side there.
We'd be willing to stipulate to
Yeah.
for the purposes of the plea, but not for the purposes of restitution, which is.
so
still to be
restitution amount will determine separately, but for purposes of the plea and the requirements, they stipulate that it's likely to be upwards about 1,000. When you're talking about body repair, oh yeah. So that's
Oh, yeah.
that's the situation. Court
Going to the
accepts
body.
the plea then, finding it freely, voluntarily, knowingly made and accurate as to count 1 and 2.
It is very Irish.
People move to dismiss, Your Honor.
All right. Those are dismissed. All right, now come the referrals, Ms. Jackson. You're going to get referred to the probation department here at 14-2. Agent Settles will not be interviewing you.
Coming
That'll
through.
be done by a person who is screened and assessed
Two
to
bones.
talk to you about your alcohol usage, how, your drinking habits. That's a different person on a different location. They're gonna call
Okay.
you as well. So what's gonna happen is you got a referral to probation. You get an email
he was drunk.
laying out
Should've
all the
like
things you need to do.
Well, I don't know.
One of them will tell you,
The limit.
one thing you gotta do is fill out a form
Not
about
crazy.
yourself. It's an information form
That's
for
what I'm
our
thinking too.
probation department.
Why didn't her insurance go ahead and take care of it? Why are we worried about restitutions at this point? Or if you're drunk driving, does your insurance company deny the claim? Is that something they'll do?
And it's online. If you don't like going online, you can ask for a written copy and then you can fill it out and drop it off. Now, you're also referred to Von Schwartz Agency, which is a separate agency from our court. It's
Thank
an
you for the
analyst
ear job,
who
James.
does these things that are specially trained in talking with people about their alcohol use to see if they have any issues or if this is kind of a, just normal, no big deal for anything. So they talk to you and they explore all that. They will do the interview.
No big
And that'll
deal.
be usually over the phone. So they will send you a packet of information in the mail. You'll call them, give them their information. They'll send you a packet. You will fill that out in writing and mail it back to them. And then they will interview you on the day they said. They'll call you on a day and time, just like on the notice they send you. So it's kind of involved back and forth. You're getting notices, you're filling things out, you're sending them back in a very quick manner. The last thing that you're referred for is victim impact panel. Remember, there's 3 things: probation, Von Schwartz Agency, and victim impact panel. All that's something you
Jeez.
watch and you
Got
pay a
great
fee
delivery.
to
What are you
watch.
talking about?
Okay.
And you get a receipt showing you did it. So all that's gonna be laid out in your email from probation. I think probation's on here, Miss Penfield. She'll tell you what's coming your way.
Kara, I've already sent you an email that explains everything of who you need to contact for Von Schwartz and the VIP victim panel that you'll need to have done before you come back to court. Make sure that you
Okay.
fill out that PSI packet and get that sent to us.
Okay.
So you hear that's your voice, Roberta. She's your contact person at probation. You have questions and you call probation. She's the person that'll answer the phone and talk to you. So if you have any questions, she'll be more than happy to help you understand something going on in the form you're filling out or any of that. So don't
Okay.
hesitate to
We
call.
got the
if
gist
you
of
kind
it.
of
We're
run
gonna
into
jump.
something you don't understand. Okay.
Jump out of that. Jump on over to maybe, just maybe, we can have a Niner sighting. Just possible. We'll see. Will Niner be there? ADA SAP. First appearances coming in hot. Let's go. And it's Creed. Welcome back, Creed.
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Williams, sir, you are charged on warrant. You have the right.
Now.
You heard it?
in
Yep.
open court. Your attorney, however, has waived the reading of your warrant here in open court. Sir, do you understand what you're
And we're
charged?
back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Based on this charge and some charges
for
that
just
are
moments
contained
ago.
in your criminal history that's maintained by the state of Georgia,
Keep the
I'm
air edge
required
going.
to.
What was it, by the way?
I wish I could tell you. I just did a plethora, as they say, of things, including firing up the old chainsaw, and it works.
Sometimes that's what it takes, Creed.
I don't know.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Transfer your your case to the Superior Court. Your attorney will be filing a motion to have a bond hearing there, and this court is going to set your case down for a probable cause hearing. Mr. Castro, anything else on Mr. Williams?
Well, T's day drinking.
I mean, she's already fell in love once during court already. So
Is Mr. Castro
Maybe.
frozen?
Sorry, I missed it.
is Niner gone from here? I haven't seen Niner in forever.
All right, Mr.
Really
Castro,
haven't.
anything else on Mr. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Williams, that concludes your first appearance hearing, sir. I'm going to ask that you please follow the direction of my
names.
deputies.
Oh, so he about to start cussing. Can we talk to the people in orange clothes now?
I was really calm, cool, and collective, believe it or not, during that episode. Usually I throw a fit and start throwing shit around, but not today.
Hey, professionalism. That's what we reek of.
I'm going to pull this up for just a second. I just want to go over to, give me a second.
Go ahead. We don't have nobody at the podium.
Working too. Yeah, we haven't seen Niner in probably a month or two.
I understand there's one case that you all have consented on. That's Nick.
Who's the trucker?
Be required the services of an attorney.
Can you hear him?
Can afford to hire your own attorney, then you need to watch court.
I hear the judge kind of low.
Well, he's not very- yeah, he's not very loud.
Mr. Newman, sir, do you have any
As long as
questions?
you can
for
hear,
us?
that's all I'm worried about. All right. Good deal.
Yeah, it's working. I mean, it's a beautiful accent piece. Very feminine.
Deputy, I'm getting a lot of conversation in my earpiece. Y'all need a moment over there?
Oh,
I'm yelled at.
Wow.
Alrighty.
What a condescending way to yell at
Mr. Pittman, sir, you're charged in one warrant. The warrant number is 22W011619. You have the right to have your warrant read to you here in open court. Your attorney, however, has waived the reading of your warrant here in open court. Do you understand what you're charged with, sir? All right, I'm going to hear from your attorney on what.
I just wanted to see this beard real quick, and
I mean, it's beautiful on me.
yeah.
Honor. So for Mr. Pittman, we were able to work out a $1,000 bond. I believe there might be a condition attached to it that I'll let the state speak to. I believe it's a do not return condition. Just as far as a little bit on his background, Your Honor, Mr. Pittman is 20 years old. He's
Mhm.
lived in Georgia his entire life, born and raised here. He does live at a residence in Alpharetta with his
Oh, okay.
parents. So he does have a support system in the state. He is also employed. He works for Microsoft. He works at Microsoft doing cleaning. He hopes he'll still have the shop when he gets out. He just had it for a couple months now, Your Honor.
There you go,
Just
boy.
looking at the history I was sent from the state, it looks like he's had a couple misdemeanors in the past, but no felony history. And this isn't a violent charge, Your
Poor
Honor.
man,
So we will
minor.
go along with our agreement today.
Seth, you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. We consented to $1,000 with special condition of do not return to the AT&T at 136 Perimeter Center West. Mr. Pittman has 2 cycles in Georgia. The first cycle is from 2019 in Milton. It's an open case for family violence, simple assault, and obstruction. The other cycle is from April this year in Downwoody. It's an open case for misdemeanor theft by shoplifting. We agreed to
He works for Microsoft.
$1,000 regular bond with a special condition in light of his criminal history, which is not particularly lengthy, and also the fact that it appears that the item that was taken was retrieved.
I mean, it sounds good when you say you work at
Criminal
Microsoft.
history. Now,
Yeah,
while I
you should
am
stop right
concerned
there.
about the pending theft by shoplifting charge from April of just this year, I will follow or rather grant you the bond that your attorney worked out on your behalf. So your bond will be $1,000. It's a cash or surety bond. Most times we just call it a regular bond. That simply means you will be able to go through a bonding company to exercise that bond. But there will be a special condition attached to the bond. It requires that you do not return to the AT&T store at 136 Perimeter Center West. Sir, if you go back to that store for any reason, even if it's just a
still there.
legitimate reason to purchase the phone, going
I think
back
maybe he was
is
raising
the
hell or
act
something.
that
I
is
don't know.
enough to violate this
Maybe
special
you're
condition.
stealing.
And if you violate the special condition, 2 things can happen.
Own case.
This bond can be revoked and you'd be facing additional charges. Do you understand that, sir? All right, so you shall not return to the AT&T store. Now, my deputy's going to hand you an
He went in there
electronic
with wire
signature pad,
cutters
because you are
and,
going to be required to sign that special condition, and you will get a copy of it either today or at the time that you bond out.
Microsoft
While he's
pay
doing that, Mr. Castro, will your client be waiving probable cause, or do you want to reserve it?
We'll reserve just to be cautious, Your Honor.
No problem.
Go steal one out of somebody's pocket. It's a lot easier and probably a better phone than those that are on
People leave them
24/7.
in their purses all the time. Turn around at Walmart.
Thank you very
While they
much.
do their thing really quick, I want to show you. Look at this. 1, 2, and 3 is up. 1 is small claims.
I like that.
Over the
normally
direction of
see
my
that,
deputy,
do it.
that
That's
is,
one
you
is three.
should be able to print that special condition.
Terrell, I haven't hung out with this judge enough to know that yet. I'd have to hang out with her a little more.
Laura, do we have any other cases that have been resolved?
Like he's got terrible gaydar, by the
by
way.
a
Didn't
Yes,
know
Your
it was
Honor.
horrible.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. I just received an updated consent from Ms. Alvarez regarding position 15. We worked out a
The same thing
consent
about
for
Sweet Tea for quite a while, too.
$20,000 with special
Sure.
conditions, no contact with the victim and no firearms.
All right, Ms. Let me get Ms.
There's anything wrong with that.
Or Jakai
No,
Henri
it's fine.
Wyatt up to the podium. And Ms. Walker, were you able to print that last special condition?
Miss Walker. You
Really
who
lonely day over at Warren.
she's got the Caitlin Hatley
She does. She got the Jericho.
She's got that sweet, sweet, kinky hair.
Got that perm going, bro.
So kinky.
She does have that Gary Coleman.
Now the world don't move to the beat. Just one.
Ms. Alvarez, your client's charged in 3 warrants. Do you waive reading of the charges and the particulars in each warrant?
Yes, Judge, and that could be a standing waiver for all of my clients.
Thank you very much, counsel. Mr. Wyatt, you're charged in 3 warrants. You have the right to have your warrants read to you here in open court. Your attorney has.
This one's holding security at the door.
Do you understand what you're charged with?
John.
All right, I believe he said yes, but I really need to be clear, deputies.
Oh, yes, John.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm still required to read your warrant numbers to you. Let me tell you what they are. 22W014072, 21W014073, and 21W014074. I'm going to hear from your attorney on what she was able to work out, and then I'll hear from the attorney for the state.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Wyatt is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He's been staying with his mother and his siblings in their home in Decatur for the past couple of months. He has a career at Agility. He works in as a medical equipment technician. He's been doing that for over a year. And he is a high school.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. What we have here. Not looking like a good day for him.
You got picked up yesterday?
Turn some lights on back there. Dark as hell.
I need to get my arm treated. My bones are snapped. Like my bones are snapped in half.
Bag Blaze.
I agree with you. It doesn't look good right there. All right, let's do a denial for you. That
What?
way all your options open. Are you going to be asking for court-appointed counsel?
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
How do we know his bones are
Now, it's a
snapped?
pretty extreme way to get an OR bond, but it worked.
Nah. Are you insinuating that he did it to himself, Stansbury?
Your arm, my arms. They ain't feeling right. Watch out.
By the way, packed crowd already. They just went live. I'm pretty sure it's the first person. Packed crowd in the pews today. Quick update for supper
Okay, so
tonight
here's
at
what I'm gonna
Carol's.
do today, Mr. Barton. I'm going to go ahead and enter a denial on your behalf. If you decide you want to admit to it when you see Judge George, you can do that. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and release you on your own recognizance today on 2 conditions. Number 1, you're not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And number 2, you are to report to the probation department immediately upon release. Call them and let them know you're going to the hospital to get yourself checked out to get that treated.
Yes, sir.
Once you get discharged from the hospital, you got to report to probation. And technically, you're still subject to all the terms and conditions of probation. That does include the no contact order. So you can't have any contact with the other side of this. But that being said, they'll schedule this for a contested hearing. If you want to admit, you can do that. If you don't, you can have the hearing. If you want to get a lawyer, deal with it well before the next court date. But they'll set it pretty quick. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Barton, good luck with the wrist.
Thank you.
It works.
We missed this part, him showing him the
Andre,
rib.
Hendrickson. Yeah, right behind the podium there. You can go ahead and take your mask off, please.
Thank you,
Ms. Hendrickson?
Judge.
Yeah,
And Ms. Hendrickson, do you understand your rights in court today?
I do, Your Honor.
Did you receive a copy of the complaint that was filed against you?
Yes,
Did you read it? Did you understand it?
yes,
You've been charged with violation of protection order of first-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty there is up to 180 days jail.
Judge, it's broke.
How do you want to plead?
I'm guilty, Your Honor.
My God,
Say
Bag
not
Blaze.
guilty?
I am guilty. I did it.
Okay, so you want to enter a guilty plea?
Oh, no.
Before I can accept your plea, I need
What's
to
worse
ask you a number of questions.
That or Mikey's
I'm not
one
trying to
leg.
get you to change your mind about what you're doing, but rather verifying that you're doing this of your own free will, knowing what rights
Hang in
you're
there.
giving up and what the potential penalties can be. So my first question to you is, are you aware that you're not required to plead guilty at all? Meaning you don't have to plead guilty. You understand?
No, I wasn't aware of that, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can plead not guilty if you want. You can plead no contest if you want. You can plead guilty. Which one do you want to plead?
Not.
Not guilty. Okay, very good. What's your current address?
25 Weston Road.
Is there an apartment?
C as in cat.
All
See you as a-
And are you employed, Ms.
See you
Hendrickson?
tomorrow.
See you next Tuesday.
Do you receive disability benefits, a homemaker? You just between jobs? What's the
Homemaker.
story?
Yes, I receive
All of
benefits
the
and I'm a homemaker. I'm trying to find a new place now.
I'm a disabled homemaker that's home.
What kind of work did you do before you were injured?
I was a
Sex work.
homemaker.
Okay.
I was a
And
wife and
the
I'm no longer
homemaker.
with the defendant, so.
I was a judge.
C is in crack. C is in C. I can't stare at her in her eyes. I just look at her nostrils.
Her mouth is very animated.
So I'm going to enter your plea of not guilty at your request. Is there anything you want to say before I set your bond? And bear in mind, it's probably not wise to talk about what may or may not have happened yesterday, because everything you're saying is being recorded and could possibly be used against you down the road.
Okay.
So anything else you want to say before
Still
I
in
decide
the
what
way?
it should be?
Like a worm?
Okay.
Ooh, juicy.
Better jump over there real quick and see.
I'm looking.
I just need to look something up real quick.
He heard Mad Cave had a visit as well.
He did too. He's a big Mad Cave fan. I didn't know that. Judge Stansbury
Loves him some Spied Live. Loves it.
He is. Look at him. He's over there pounding away.
He's like, oh.
Oh, sorry, Dolphins fan, if you're here. That is somebody in the audience today. Live studio audience. That
Got so many
We have
cameras
another
up
case
there.
pending.
I think that's his
which is scheduled
brother.
For a jury trial on September the 26th. And in that
Maybe
case,
next year, Lab.
You have an attorney, Mr. Ward, has been appointed to represent you. If you want him to help you and represent you on this as well, you have to fill out a new application, all right? But put his name up at the top.
Okay.
All right. Given the fact that there was already a pending case and that this case involves the same individual, I'm going to set your bond at $2,500, cash your 10%. The only condition of the bond, apart from the amount that I've set it at, is that you're to abide by the terms and conditions of any CPO that's in effect. So if there's an active CPO out there and you don't abide by it, you can get charged with a new criminal offense, a violation protection order. But even if you don't get charged, your bond could get revoked and you could sit in the jail until your case will resolve anyway. That being said, this will be randomly assigned, could come to me, could come to Judge George. Until and unless a lawyer gets involved, we're going to send notices to you. If you're still incarcerated at the time of your next court date, we will have you transported over here to the city building. So do you have any questions today?
Steve,
No.
they went
All
full
right, you may
on
go,
in person
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
and cut
you
it.
said my bond is how much?
$2,500, cash surety, or 10%.
So I have to stay in here.
Well, if you can post the bond, you can be released
They're
subject
missed.
to abiding by the CPO. If you're unable to post the bond, yes, you would not be released, but you can petition whichever judge is assigned to your case to revisit your bond, and it's possible it could be reduced to a recognizance bond. But today, I'm going to leave it at $2,500. Any other questions?
Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Oh, what a
We have Jessica Miller.
great woman.
Good afternoon. Are you Miss Miller?
Whoa.
Sir.
And Miss Miller, do you understand your rights in court today?
Front row on right.
You received a copy of the complaint.
White shirt.
Yes, I did.
Did you read
With
it? Do you
the
understand
hand
what
in
you're
the.
doing?
Yeah.
They're very cold.
Sure did.
Leg.
Okay, it looks like you've been charged with a single count of
Oh,
theft.
okay.
It's a first-degree misdemeanor, carries up to 180 days jail, up to a $1,000 fine. How do you wish to plead?
I plead coffee.
Their knees were their feet.
And, but before I can accept your plea, I need
Too
to ask you some
fast.
questions. Do you understand
Too
that you have the right to
furious.
an attorney, and if you couldn't afford one, we give you one for free?
Absolutely.
And the benefit of having a lawyer is somebody who can advise you of any, motions that
Hello,
can be made on your
Chris.
behalf, defenses that might be available for you. Generally, try to get you the best possible outcome. Was it your intention to waive that right today?
Yes.
Even without a lawyer, you're presumed to be innocent. The state has the burden of proof, and you have a right to a trial with a judge or a jury. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
You have a right to confront your accusers, to subpoena your own witnesses, to compel their attendance at trial. And you also have a right not to testify at trial. Nobody could force you to if you didn't want to. And if you didn't, wouldn't be counted against you. And you also have the right to present evidence on your own behalf at trial. You understand all of that?
Oh my God.
Ms. Miller, if you plead guilty, that's an admission of guilt. That means you admit to committing the offense of theft. It means the state doesn't have to prove anything in order for me to find you guilty. And lastly, it means you'd be waiving those rights that we've just discussed. Do you realize that?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I change my mind? I'm sorry. I really.
You
Can we just do it?
want to switch it over to not guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your current address?
185 Isabel Road. That's Newark, Ohio.
That was my next question, even though I know it's Newark and you know it's Newark, I have to have you say it's Newark. All right. And did you know you have a holder?
For Muskegon County?
I don't know where it's from. Is that where it is? From Muskegon County?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know what it's for?
They really didn't give me any information on it. I do know that I do have some things I do have to take care of in Muskegon County, so I was just waiting.
Who do you live with on Isabel Road?
My dad and my stepmother.
Okay. Now, do you just use that as a mailing address, or do you actually stay there?
I stay there.
Are you employed?
Yeah, I work for. It's part time. I only work like 3 days a week.
What is it? Where do you work?
The name of the company is called Purple Monkey Cleaning Company.
Did you say Purple Monkey Cleaning Company?
Yes. Yeah, cleaning company. Yeah.
Nude.
I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do today, Miss Miller. I'll go ahead and release you on your own recognizance, but you're not going anywhere until Muskegon County comes to pick you up. They'll have a reasonable amount of time. If they're, sitting on their hands and they don't come in a reasonable amount of time, you'd be released on this recognizance with an order to report to Muskegon County. Either way, I would strongly recommend that you get an application for the county council that down there at the jail, fill it out, have them send it here for us. If you're held on that holder, they should send it here for you.
Nice.
You're definitely going to want an attorney in case things get complicated in Muskegon County to make sure they don't get more complicated here. All right?
Okay. Now, what is the exact? What's when you say a reasonable amount of time? Is there like a how many days do they have?
It's usually
or?
within a couple days. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions today, Ms. Miller?
I don't think so.
We'll get this assigned to a judge and set the trial. Until a lawyer gets involved on your side of things, we'll send all the notices to you. All right?
Thank you.
All right. You have a good day. You may go with the officer.
Feeling all the people that work at Purple Monkey Cleaning Service look just like her.
Well, it doesn't even come up on Google, so I think she's full of shit, to be honest
Mr.
with
Poole,
you.
do you understand your rights in court today?
Yes.
Did you receive a copy of the complaint that was filed against you?
He's the coffer.
Just did, yes.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to read it over?
Yep.
You understand you've been charged with a single count of domestic violence?
Yep.
All right. That's a first degree misdemeanor.
Yep.
Up to 180 days jail, up to $1,000.
Yeah, I beat her ass, Your Honor.
Not guilty.
What is your current address?
71 Mill Race Road. So Granville, Ohio, 43023.
Are you employed?
Yes. Well, yeah, my wife and I own the Chimney Guys.
Oh, okay.
Chimney Guys?
So I don't know what's going to go on with this now, but
Yeah. How long has the business been in existence?
about 17 years, but with us, about 2.5, 3 years.
So you guys bought it from somebody who started it?
It was our father's, and he passed away, and it's what we've done for our whole lives. So we just decided, I've been doing it 22 years, might as well take advantage of a horrible situation.
Wait, what?
I threw her dad off a roof and I took over the business.
Oh, I guess that's what he's saying. A horrible situation of a passing of the father.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
For all of your chimney needs, 216-322-3554, by the way, for the Chimney Guys. Ohio. 4.4 rating out of 47 reviews on Angie.com.
That's good, right?
419 likes on their Facebook. 2 people talking about
One last
this.
thing I need to look at.
Okay.
Are you talking about me and you, or
Oh, no, ours would be
more people than me and you talking about?
Family owned and operated. The Chimney Guys in Ohio have a combined professional experience of 40 plus years in chimney sweeping and repair. ChimneyGuysOhio.com.
Free ads. Get yours now. Creed, he threw her ass off the chimney. I mean,
yeah,
we should be worried about that, throwing her off like that. That's not right. That's wrong. It's just wrong. I didn't know that was still a thing. Chimney sweeping. or am I just somebody that doesn't own a chimney?
I'm cold, thank you. That's right. Got to get in there before December because, keep that suit nice and red and white.
Santy will.
All right, I said I'd give you an
Don't
opportunity
dirty.
to address bond, but I think you'll be fine with what I'm going to do here. I will release you on your own recognizance on several conditions. Number one, you're not to consume any alcohol or drugs while the bond is in place. Number two, you're not to be in possession of any weapons, knives, guns, things of that nature. And then lastly, I'm going to put on a no violent contact order with Catherine Poole. So I'm not prohibiting contact completely, but if things get out of control, cops get called, even if they don't
Use
charge you,
code Creed
you can be
15
sitting in the jail
at
until this
checkout.
gets resolved.
So I would leave. Yes,
All
sir.
right, so this will get randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. You're going to get notice by mail, so make sure your address is correct, including the southeast on your address. And if you're going to hire a lawyer, deal with it right away. If you're going
Yeah,
court
code
appointed,
Mohawk.
get the application form from the jail.
You
but
want
since you're
drugs
getting out,
along with
it's
your,
job to turn it in.
you want some
Main thing is don't
DV
wait until
along
the day
with
of
your,
trial to make arrangements.
It's here at the jail.
They have the forms there, but since you're getting out, though, they're not going to submit that for you. You have to do that yourself. Understand?
I'll do it. Yeah. I
Now,
think
one
so.
other thing. Apparently, you've got a holder on you.
Oh,
You have
shit.
Paper for an OVI.
Ah, damn.
Does that sound right?
No, they've all been addressed. No.
Well, you're right. His
Well, the
ears
jail
are
roster
perfect
indicates that
for
there's
a
a
mask.
PB holder on you. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. But it looks like you were convicted of OVI earlier this summer, so you would still be on probation most likely. Now, maybe you were on.
Okay, no, I am for that. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant there was.
Now you remember.
Do you know who your PO is?
Oh, she's a cute little thing. I can't remember her name. I don't have the paper on me.
Miss Poon, Miss Poontang was her name, I believe.
I mean, no, she's the coolest thing. You know what I mean?
How
No,
do you
she's,
know? Pass.
Here's what we're going to do. As I mentioned, I'm releasing you on your own recognizance subject to those conditions. However, the probation department will evaluate whether they intend to file a formal motion to revoke your probation or not. If they do, you'll be seeing Judge George around this time tomorrow to address that. If they don't, then they'll drop that holder and you'll get out and this case will proceed accordingly. So, any other questions today?
No, I think that's good.
Very well, Mr. Poole. You may go with the officer. Thank you.
Thank you.
You stupid bastard.
I mean,
Okay.
go around saying those things about your probation officer, maybe not a good idea. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I have a warrant for your arrest. Judge George has a warrant for your arrest, and I have another warrant for your arrest. So we're going to address all your warrants today.
A lot of work done.
You got arrested over at the hotel in Heath, correct? Yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is your current address?
196 South Fifth Street, Newark, Ohio.
So you're using the vertical as your mailing address?
They don't count.
Yes, sir.
But otherwise, right now you're in house.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to say about why you didn't show up for court?
My daughter was in the hospital out in Lancaster, and I had no ride back. I didn't realize what the date was, and I was out there with her.
Oh, Sarge.
And I sent you I called in to send you a continuance, and we made it, but it just obviously you didn't get to see it or you didn't approve it.
Well, let me see. You have the three
It was
cases.
through email.
There's nothing in Judge George's file.
Great looking cast
It
of
was
characters
through
in the
email.
pews
It would be
today.
through my daughter's email address because I don't have a phone.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in my case.
Bullshit.
One case. And let's
I
see
call
if-
bullshit on her not having a phone. Every junkie on the street
So
has.
it's possible. I'm not doubting that you sent it. It's just that there's nothing in here.
Yeah, because we were going to get you a hospital paper and everything if you needed it, and nothing ever got said about it. So but I just want to plead out to it because, the last time I was in jail, my wallet and everything got stolen, which had my birth certificate and all that in it, which I had 2 weeks to get my license and everything done.
Seems about right.
And then not having a phone and trying to get all that back, it just, I didn't have time to do it all. So I kind of just want to plead out to it because it has been a year. And like I said, a year ago is when the first year of my dad being dead, you know what I mean? I did kind of spiral out a little bit. But I just want to kind of get this taken care of.
You're making your dad
Well,
proud.
here's the deal. Even if I was inclined, I can't accept a plea on Judge George's case. And on my case is what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the bonds set in the amount that they were on the warrant. So on all three of these cases, you're going to have a $1,500 bond, cash surety, or 10%. Now, if you decide you want to change your plea at your next court date, you can do that. That's fine. But for today, we're not going to be doing any change of pleas. All right. But in each case, $1,500 cash surety or 10%, they'll get referred back to the assigned judge. New hearings will be set. And as I said, if you decide you want to change your plea at that point, you can do that. If you decide you don't want to, then you don't have to, and you can have a trial.
Do you know where my thing's going to be?
It'll be relatively quickly because, I don't know, you being held on anything else?
No.
By the way, it really does look like her. I mean, very close.
It'll be set very quickly because every day that you're spending in the jail now counts as 3 days toward your speedy trial. Any other questions today?
No, there's no way I can get an OR because I am working. At least I have something going for myself. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad to hear that you have a job. Unfortunately, you've let these things linger for almost a year. In some cases, more than a year. So I'm not.
Did you have to let it linger?
They're all 1 year. That's all it is 1 year because they all happen right in within a matter of weeks of the times.
Yeah. We'll get them resolved. Like I said, these will get set very quickly, but I can't OR you today. Any other questions?
Love y'all.
All right, Ms. Smith, you may go with the officer. Thank you. All right, Sherry, look forward to seeing you on Friday.
All right, thank you.
Oh, that's it. All right, going to the pews.
All right, folks.
We got
patience. When I call your name, you're going to come up here to the bench in front of me, and I'm going to ask you for your rights in court form. That's the one that should.
Well, he tells some of that. We'll tell you about what's happening at 4:05 today. Wild Worman Wednesday coming up on the show today. We got Chase.
It's a stacked card, Creed. I'd hate to, lie to you people and tell you it wasn't. Because it's a doozy. Make sure you're there for that. If you haven't already subscribed, please go over to We Got a Case on YouTube. That is our case only channel. Even if you're subscribed somewhere else, we're trying to get that to 1,000. We'd appreciate your help.
Before 2025.
Yes.
Hoping anyways. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow starts off at noon with Voyage. Watching some Spied Life. That's at high noon East. Thirsty Thursday. We got a case, of course, as well. Then are stacked and packed, ready to go Friday. We're getting there halfway through the week already, which is kind of a little bit too quick for me.
It has gone very, very quickly. And just let you know, anybody's keeping up, the sore throat has now turned into a earache.
Oh God.
Yes. This whole side is very swollen. So when I had to sleep sitting up last night, because if I leaned over, this ear hurts so bad.
So not so good with Mom. She thinks she's about 2 days behind me because she's coughing up a lung. Emily is sicker than a dog today in bed. By the way, woke me up twice last night, coughing so loud, but it was so quiet. Coughed so loud that I woke up like she scared me. It happened twice. It's getting worse. I'm doing better though. Thanks for asking.
I have a massive gland. Like I told my wife and daughter, is it swollen over here? And they're like, oh yeah, it's huge right there. I was like, okay, well then that makes all the sense in the world. So on the antibiotics, getting her done.
Emily swore up and down that she had taken something, but I don't know. She just might be taking some syrup. Hit the like or else. Thank you, Dave. Hallelujah. $2.
No diarrhea, Elvis. Not a bit.
Not yet, anyways.
Not yet. I'm saving that for hopefully late night. There's nothing better than a late night poop. Speaking of late night poops, are we willing this wheelchair up here?
Let's do it.
He's looking like, what?
Such as a whole glass of vodka to ready to go.
No, I've done this for a while. I know what I'm maneuver her.
Okay. All right.
Oh God.
Okay. So
she's
first
leaning.
I'll start with you, Ms. Kirkpatrick. Do you understand your rights in court today?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Manuel, do you understand your rights in court?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Ms.
are ready.
Kirkpatrick, did you get a copy of the complaint that was filed against you?
Yes.
Did you read it?
In the mail.
Yeah. Did you read it and understand you've been charged with a single count of theft?
Yes.
And that's a misdemeanor, carries up to 180 days in jail, up to $1,000 fine. Ms. Kirkpatrick, did you get a copy of your complaint?
I'm Manuel.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Manuel.
Yes.
Okay. And did you read it and understand that you've been charged with theft? And again, that's a first-degree misdemeanor. Those charges, each of them carry maximum penalties of up to 180 days in jail, up to $1,000 fine. May I see your rights form, please?
Oh.
Thank you. And may I see Ms. Kirkpatrick's? Thank you. Ms. Kirkpatrick, how do you want to plead to that charge?
Think about it. Careful.
I'm sorry?
Guilty.
Okay. And Ms. Manuel, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
Now, before I go any further, I need to verify you guys understand that A, you both have the right to have an attorney. If you couldn't afford one, we give you one at absolutely no cost to you. You heard me explain what the benefit of having an attorney is. They can point out any defenses you might have, or anything that could possibly help you out. And in general, look out for your best interest and hope to get you guys the best outcome possible. Ms. Kirkpatrick, is it your intention to waive your right to a lawyer today?
This is Miss Kirkpatrick.
Yes. And Ms. Manuel, is that your intention as well? All right. I'm going to ask you a series of yes or no questions. I just need you to answer out loud. Do you both understand you're not required to plead guilty?
So great.
Do you understand that you guys are presumed to be innocent and the state has a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Do you each understand that you have a right to a trial with a judge or a jury of your peers?
Yes.
And do you both understand that at the trial you could confront your accusers by questioning them after they've testified against you, as well as require your own witnesses to subpoena power?
Yes.
Do you both understand that you have a right not to testify if you don't want to? Nobody could make you, and it wouldn't be counted against you if you didn't.
Yes.
And you both understand that you have a right to present evidence in support of your own case.
Yes.
All right. Now, you need to understand that a plea of guilty is a complete admission of guilt. Yes, Ms. Manuel?
Can I just explain something to you?
You'll be able to make a statement after I get through the questions. And if you ultimately decide, well, wait a minute, Judge, I just want to plead not guilty, then that's fine too. But if you plead guilty, the state no longer has any burden of proof. They don't have to introduce any evidence for me to find you guilty, and you'll waive those other rights.
That lady's a thief. Are you kidding me?
And we would proceed to
criminal.
today. As I mentioned, you'll both have an opportunity to make a statement if you like, or if you want to change your mind about how you're pleading, that's fine. Did you both understand the maximum possible penalties that I explained?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Kirkpatrick, Ms. Manuel, has anybody threatened to either one of you or promised either of you anything in order to get you to do what you're doing here today?
No.
Are either of you under the influence of any alcohol or illegal drugs?
No.
Do either of you take any medication that affects your ability to understand what's going on around you?
No.
You both been able to understand my questions here today?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And you both understand why we're here and what it is we're doing, correct?
Yes.
Lastly, I need to verify, are you both citizens of the United States of
Yes.
America? All right, let me take a quick look at the file, and then as promised, I'll give you and you as well a chance to speak if you like. But I just want to go ahead and
I want to hear her talk.
It says, and any witness statements.
Your Honor, I didn't steal anything. My hands were nowhere near that Nintendo 64. Look, man, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh at the lady, but I'm laughing at the lady. I mean, I'm guilty. But I need to know why she stole and where she stole it from.
Okay. Well, I called Ms. Kirkpatrick first, so I'll give you an opportunity. Anything you want to say about what happened?
Please.
I didn't realize I didn't hit the button on every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Manuel, you wish to make a statement?
And actually, I thought she did. You see, she's in the wheelchair.
It's her freaking fault.
I was trying to hurry up, get her out of the store because she was already crying that she was in pain. This has been going on for 4 months with her having to be in this wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would do anything to, let me reply. Not anything, but I mean, I'm sorry. I'm really nervous.
Nothing in the butt. It's unnatural.
Need it just to help her get out of the store. I was trying to hurry up. That's it. And I thought everything was scanned just like she did.
Well, okay, a couple of things here that I'd like to point out. Number one, according to the police report, although you guys did purchase groceries totaling an item's worth $466.06, they also, the allegation is that the items that were not properly scanned were $319.36. So that's kind of a large amount to say, oops, that was a mistake. Secondly, if you both are in fact taking responsibility for what happened, I know Ms. Kirkpatrick, you are. Ms. Manuel, I didn't look at your file yet. But you're eligible to apply for the prosecutor's diversion program, which would allow you to avoid a conviction. And Ms. Manuel, I don't see any record for you either. Now, it's more involved than what you're doing today because what you have to do is you get
Your Honor, she should.
and you do an interview with the officer in charge of the program. and then you come back for a court hearing. If he recommends that you be accepted and the prosecutor agrees, then you get put on probation. You plead guilty, but your guilty plea is set aside, and you're allowed to do the whatever they require you to do, which is usually under these circumstances, an online theft education class.
$700 worth of food in the cart.
What's restitution?
Paying back what the amount of money that was what the stuff that you didn't scan was worth. And then if you do everything you're supposed to do after 1 year, the charge gets dismissed and you're eligible to ask the court to seal the record that it was filed. And during the entire time you're on diversion, if somebody says, have you ever been convicted of a criminal offense, you can say no. I can enter pleas of not guilty on both of your behalf and then direct you guys to go get the process started in the probation department today before you leave. Would you both like to make that application?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's do that then. What is your current address?
Mine?
Yeah.
Do you need the PO box also?
Well, unless the mailman's gonna,
The mailing address.
yeah, the mailing address.
So the PO box 2.
Mhm.
of ours are the same. Millersport, Ohio 43046.
Okay.
Your Honor, I trusted her scanning skills. Oh, she's already
Now,
putting
your
up.
case will still get randomly assigned to a judge. So one or both of you may be assigned to Judge George. One or both of you may be assigned to my docket. Either way, the same thing's going to happen. All right.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you a copy of this, which is the instructions on what you need to do to follow through with the application process. Now, one thing that's important for you to know is that the interview itself is mandatory part of the application process. If you don't show up for that, they're going to automatically deny your application, and it's unlikely you get a second chance to apply. So
You can't talk out of yourself with it $300 something dollars.
$300 almost as much as you paid for. You stole it. I mean, $30, $40, $50. Okay.
Someplace else you have to be safe for medical purposes.
My God, you're from there?
Don't just blow it off. Contact them.
Can we stay with you so we can go to court someday?
Reschedule.
Teresa,
Ms.
you're
Manley,
our correspondent on the street.
Do you receive disability benefits?
I've received disability and child support.
Okay. And you take care of her, right?
Mhm.
All right.
When the guy in the front comes up, who's obviously very, very cold, is he going to be like shivering the whole time while he's talking to Sansbury?
I don't know. I wish we could get him a coat from the Lost and Found or something. He's
Right.
in a very bad way.
Let him use a backup robe, would you?
I mean, that's almost $800 worth of groceries in a cart. I mean, there had to be several carts, right?
I think he said 1,100, didn't he?
Next, hit B.
No, they paid for 400.
Okay, and stole
And they
300.
Stole 300, but it was also 480 something and 360 something or whatever it was.
That's
So
a
I
big
mean,
shopping day.
the two of them eat that much groceries,
7/22.
all in food stamps, or
Okay, you guys are both going to be released on what's called your own recognizance. That just means you're signing paperwork in the clerk's office.
have food stamps, have cash.
We'll send you a letter in the mail telling you when your diversion hearing is, but they're going to get you a different date to go in and meet with that officer, and you're going to get that when you go downstairs today.
They start wheeling out of there, and that old lady in the wheelchair gets up like Kaiser Soze and starts walking.
About what you need to do to follow through with your application process.
One entire
And, Barry
shopping
goes through the
cart
plan
full
the next
of
time you show up in court.
diapers, obviously.
She backs up.
Well,
and
if you want to make an
they
application,
start
for
falling out from under her.
the application form, the diversion, you can keep everything. If you don't want to have lawyers, you don't have to. Plenty of people do the diversion without a lawyer. A lot of people do it with a lawyer. That's up to you. But if you want to get a lawyer, submit your application.
Do it with a lawyer.
So, Ms. Kirkpatrick, do you have any questions?
Is he suggesting
do anything.
So,
I mean,
Daniel, any questions?
Creed,
Didn't say she'll do anything.
Good luck to you both.
her words, not mine.
Then she backed off it a little bit. She's like, I well, that, you know, I not anything.
Daniel Flowers.
Don't hit your mom on nothing. She got her head kind of one-sided.
You
Come on up,
hear
Mr.
just
Flowers.
bam, 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 every pew
State your
down.
rights. Can I have your rights form, please? Thank you. Do you get a copy of the complaints? All right. The Newark Police Department is alleging that on or about June the 25th of this year within the city of Newark and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you, Daniel Flowers, did knowingly cause or create a substantial risk of physical harm to the property of another without that person's consent. It's commonly known as criminal damaging. It's a second-degree misdemeanor, carries up to 90 days jail, up to a $750 fine. Also carries the possibility of restitution. They also allege that on or about that same time, same date, same location, that you recklessly caused inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to another by creating a condition that is physically offensive to persons or that presents a risk of physical harm to a person by any act that serves no lawful and reasonable purpose after a reasonable request to desist, which is commonly known as disorderly conduct. They filed it as a fourth-degree misdemeanor that carries up to 30 days and a $250 fine. So you understand?
Cola on.
How do you wish to plead? You understand what you're charged with, not necessarily why.
I mean,
Okay, how do you want to plead?
One of my greatest
Your
work.
address?
162 Putnam Road.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it looks like they actually issued a warrant when they filed these, so they obviously don't tip you off about that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll do a summons where they mail it to you,
Right, I didn't-
but in this case, for whatever reason, the prosecutor's elected to ask the court to issue a warrant.
I just don't, what I don't understand is how, because even the person where this happened at,
Allegedly happened.
allegedly, okay, I'm sorry, called in here and even let them know that they have the wrong person because it was alleged, I'm not trying to snitch or something because he already knows who did it,
Okay,
but it was my brother that did it and not me.
okay.
And
Well, they're gonna have to prove beyond a reasonable
Right.
doubt that it's you, and if the alleged victim is telling them it's not, that's gonna be difficult for them to prove,
What is
right?
that? Snitches get stitches or something.
well, in Licking County, they get something else. Just saying. It's my brother. He did it. Whatever happened to watching out for each other? Snitching son of a bitch.
All right. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to be released on your own recognizance and notified by mail of your next court date. You have the right to apply for counsel if you like. You don't have to, but if you're going to go for a lawyer, go ahead and get that taken care of right away. Until that lawyer does get involved, if they ever get involved, all notices are going to go directly to you. So make sure your address is correct on your bond
What's the
paperwork.
best way for me to get about the lake to show, because I mean, I got it on my phone, the video and everything of the
Whatever evidence you want the court to consider with you, make sure you bring with you. If it's in the form of a video that's on your phone, download it to a flash drive. All right. If you got pictures, print out hard copies of the pictures because
Bring it in, we'll all watch it.
Evidence, and we keep evidence for 50 years. Yeah.
I mean, I got my brother on video doing it, Your
Like I
Honor.
said, you have the right to represent yourself and present your own evidence and, question the witnesses against you. You have the right to get an attorney who would be trained in law, who would obviously be much better situated to be able to do that. So I always recommend people make the application, but that is ultimately your choice.
I still gotta go through all this.
You do have to go through all of this. All right. So any other questions today? All right. You may go with the bailiff. Thank you, sir. Autumn Davis.
Autumn, you're the next contestant in Licking.
Oh, hello, Autumn.
She
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Davis.
dressed
You're
up
in
today.
court today. All right. You have not gotten a copy of the complaint because for
Ah,
whatever
Christy.
reason, I'm not sure why they did this. They had
Hello.
requested that a warrant be issued when they filed these charges. So you have two counts. You have one count of attempted theft and one count of falsification. These are both alleged to have occurred on April the 18th. The attempted theft charge is a second-degree misdemeanor. It carries up to 90 days. Up to a
Where'd she steal from?
$750 fine. Falsification is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's up to 180 days.
Dollar General.
Fine. You understand?
Hair accessories.
Specifically, as it relates to the attempted theft, they're alleging that you did with purpose or knowledge, and when purpose and knowledge is sufficient culpability for the commission of offense, engaged in conduct that, if successful, would constitute a result in the offense of theft pursuant to 2913.02.
Oh, so
This
she
is an
didn't get out of
allegation over the allegation that you falsified community service hours and attempted to have those get credited towards your fines and your costs. So that's what the charge is. They still have to prove it.
How do you
beyond
do
a doubt.
that?
Understand? And the falsification obviously entails the allegation that the.
So she didn't make it out the store, is what they're
Not
saying.
guilty on these? All right, you going to be asking for an attorney?
She did things
Fill your
that
application, turn it in today.
could result in theft. Did I
You can
understand
put
that
down
right?
a specific attorney if you like.
And then
I
she
feel like you can
falsified
also
probation,
things on your behalf. I don't wanna
community
be
service
arguing
hours.
but if
Yeah,
you do,
that's an issue.
All right. Okay. Okay, that's fine. As long as he's on the
Nice,
list,
man.
typically, I will honor.
Things are
requests.
doing well at Matt's house.
I don't know about Judge George, but I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Don't
Okay,
go.
so you're gonna be released on your own recognizance, notified by mail of your next court date. You know how the drill works. If you get a lawyer, the lawyer gets the notice. You need to stay in close contact with them. It'll get randomly assigned, so it may. go to
Hopefully it'll
maybe
be
go to
that
Judge
pretty
George,
little thing.
But we'll know that within the next day or so. And do you have any other questions about this case today? All right. Well, the record should reflect on
that's like-
your copies of the complaints.
How do you think you're gonna get away with that?
If you don't have any additional questions, Mr. Holbert's going to take you to the clerk's office. We'll get you underway. Have you checked in with Ashley today?
Yeah, I seen her right before this got filed.
Okay.
And
Well, when?
This morning at 11.
You
I
did
seen
see her today,
yeah.
though. Did she
I've
tell
got
you
a note here she wrote.
this afternoon?
You want me to look at it?
It happened and I found
It's
out
real.
I was trying to pay my fines,
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. When you finish in the clerk's office, go downstairs anyway. That's going to be condition of your bond. Just to check in with her. If she needs to talk to you, she can. If she doesn't, she'll say be on your way out, and we'll see you Friday.
Laying down the law, still letting everybody walk, though.
I'll see you on Friday. Okay, Joseph Rother.
Is this the cold dude?
Good afternoon, Mr. Rother.
Nope.
Come on up. You understand your rights in court today?
Yes.
All right. You have not gotten a copy of your complaint because I've got it right here. The Newark Police Department is alleging that on or about September the 3rd of this year within the city of Newark and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you did recklessly under circumstances in which your conduct was likely to be viewed by and to affront others who are in the person's physical proximity, not members of his household, exposed your private parts. Public indecency, it's an M4. It's up to 30 days in jail, up to a 200.
In his house?
How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty, sir.
And what's your current address?
Right.
118 Hillview Court, Keith, Ohio.
All righty. And are you employed?
Yes, I am.
What do you do?
Work for Robertson Construction as a project administrator.
Party over there at the Twitch.
I'm a school teacher.
It was in his own house, no? Because I think he said in front of family.
Yeah, you can submit your application today for court-appointed counsel. Who posted your bond?
My brother.
That son of a bitch. He's the one that did it, Your Honor. Wasn't me.
All right. How long have you been with Robertson?
Almost a year.
It was a joke, Your Honor. It was a prank for YouTube. I'm a TikToker.
Ah, Griggsy, that's interesting. Okay. All right.
Knowledge.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue the bond that was posted on your behalf, which means the person who posted it isn't going to get their money back just yet, but you're not going to be on the hook for any additional money in order to stay out of jail. Conditions of your bond are that you not consume any alcohol or drugs and that you not return to Hooligan's Bar in Newark, Ohio.
Hooligan.
This case will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial, and you're going to get notice by mail.
Try the Credence and Bishop Show burger.
Questions today?
Hooligans in Jacksonville.
Your copy of the complaint, that's yours to keep. And if you have no further questions, you may go with the bailiff. Thank you. All right, next we have, is it Andres Woodfork?
So did he whip it out at Hooligans or?
I pixelated it.
May I have your rights form, please?
Hey, it's the cool guy.
That's the one. Did you get a copy of your ticket?
Dude, that's very cool.
You never got a copy of this? Okay. The Highway Patrol is alleging that on or about August the 30th of this year, at approximately 11:46 p.m., you were operating a black 2014 Dodge on Taylor Road.
Why's it got to be black?
Morning Dew Drive.
I can't believe Kay knows about.
Excuse me. Within the city of Pataskla.
I want to dip my balls in it.
City of Reynoldsburg, Lincoln County, Ohio, and that you were exceeding the posted speed limit. Specifically, they alleged that you were traveling 95 miles an hour in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. So do you understand that that's the charge? Now, it's a minor misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is a $150 fine. You also face the possibility of a license suspension of up to 1 year, but it's not mandatory. So how do you wish to plead?
A crazy reason. Can I plead?
Insanity.
You get three options. You can plead not guilty, guilty, or no contest.
I plead guilty.
Guilty. All right.
He needs a
understand the
robe.
Consequences and the nature of a guilty plea based upon my explanation earlier.
Is it got low blood sugar? Is it?
All right. Let me take a quick look at what Cooper wrote.
He's even freezing. Just stand. Look at him. Yes, he's doing it. He's like,
I will give you an opportunity to make a statement. But one thing I want to be clear on is I do not want to hear, I didn't know I was going that fast, because you can't be going 95 and a 35 and not realize you're going that fast. So what happened?
She was
Spitting up?
Spitting up. Yeah, and I stayed on one side of town, and her mom and my other kid, they stayed on the other side of town.
Okay.
So it's about 20-minute drive.
Okay.
So when I had got close, it's just like kind of like a straightaway. So
I opened her up.
FaceTime as and my girl, she pulls up too. When I was pulled over,
Mhm.
I had her. She pulled up with my daughter there. Making sure she was straight, but you could tell she still needed to be in the hospital. I have the form, the paper from where she went to the emergency room and all that.
Mhm.
I have that. If that's.
Oh, I take you. I believe you. I believe you when you
So
tell me.
other than that, I'll never. I'm not a speeder. I don't drive, especially my car like that.
What kind of
flashers on? Would that been all right then?
Okay.
You don't drive them type of cars like that.
Well, you did get convicted back in February of going 93 and a 55, correct?
Yeah.
And then you also got convicted about 4 years ago for going 79 and a 45, correct?
Yes.
Do
Is it
you
5
work?
years?
2018. What do you do for a living?
Two businesses. Cook. We have a cooking one, and we have a like a CDL one where we don't have the big trucks yet, but we have the smaller ones.
What kind of food do you guys cook?
Like Cajun food.
Okay. Is it like a food truck?
Yeah,
What's it called?
Rockets.
Okay.
Rockets.
And who does that? You and who?
Uncle, my mom, sister.
Now you said children plural, so you have more than one child.
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old, and then my newborn was just born 2 days prior
to this. Okay.
And
So
she was fresh home.
well, that explanation cuts both ways because yes, I can understand that you wanted to get her someplace where you could get some treatment for her, but at the same time, you both put both her and you at significant risk.
No, I was there. I was just by myself. I was going to their house.
Oh, I thought you were saying she was in the vehicle with you.
No.
Good. That makes me feel a lot better about what happened.
I was by myself.
Not that I feel good about you going 95.
No, I understand that definitely for sure.
All right.
But no, she wasn't with me.
This is just a way to get us to hear about all these new businesses.
What I'm going to do.
God knows, it's a new
I'm not gonna
advertisement.
suspend your license, although normally under these circumstances I would.
Hi, Bubba.
Instead, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take it out on you financially. So it's a good
No,
thing you got
Shelley.
2 jobs because it's going to be $150 in cost.
Just his job.
All right. You did show your insurance proof, so I'll reflect that that's been satisfied, so you don't have to worry about the bureau coming after you. If you can pay it all off today, great. If you need some time, we'll give you time to get information when you get down to the clerk's office. Any other questions?
Appreciate you.
All right. You take care.
And
All right,
slow down.
Next to last today is going to be Raven Strickler.
Raven. That's
Great name.
so Raven.
Strickler, come on up. You understand your rights in court today?
Big fan of
You have not gotten a
the
copy of your
pink.
complaint because I've got it right here. And
Who
I'll-
isn't, Creed?
Shortly, but first we need to get. I'm going to read the charges to you. It looks like they issued a warrant for your arrest when they filed this as well. So, and they just filed this yesterday. So, anyway, the first count, the Newark Police Department alleges that on or about September the 3rd of this year, within the city of Newark and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you knowingly caused or created a substantial risk of physical harm to the property of another without that person's consent, commonly known as criminal damaging. Carries up to 90 days in the county jail, up to a $750 fine, as well as the possible order for restitution. In the second count, they allege that on or about the same date, same location, that you did knowingly cause another person to believe that you would cause physical harm to them or their immediate family. That's known as menacing. That's a 4th-degree misdemeanor that carries up to 30 days in jail and up to a $250 fine. So how do you want to plead? And what is your current address? Are you employed? What do you do?
I'm a waitress at TJ's.
And how long have you been working there?
About a year and a few months.
Okay.
She's looking to fight,
You
huh?
be over there on Penny Avenue.
My little sister is currently living with me.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Take a quick
Oh,
look.
she's
at the
12.
file. We're going to talk about your bond.
Voice sounds it, that's for sure.
I'm a waitress. I couldn't beat anybody up. I never hurt anyone. I'll do anything.
What's the chances she's wearing Walmart underwear?
She's not wearing underwear.
Uh-oh, we got a lot of paperwork here?
Uh-oh, a lot of reading.
Ruh-roh.
I'll give you an opportunity here, but bear with me one moment, all right?
Somebody punch her in the forehead?
Looks very confused by that question. How would you say that?
Why would you say that about me? I got punched right in the forehead. It was terrible.
I say that because obviously her shirt is advertising Victoria's Secret.
I just like this shirt.
Ronnie, are you singing?
Why are you calling me?
Ronnie, you ever been to Hooligans?
Would you like some free bread?
Last time I was yeah, do you ever come to TJ's?
Hello. I'm your waitress.
At TJ's, we like to put our meat. Well, wait. At TJ's, at TJ's, we like to put our meat in your mouth. I mean, your meat in my mouth. At TJ's.
All right. What's your question? Well, you don't have a warrant now. What they did was they arrested you. You posted a bond and you were released, but it's just they didn't issue a summons. Normally what they can do is if they file charges against you, let's say you got charged with shoplifting from Walmart, you would get a certified letter with containing your copy of the complaint saying this is what you've been charged with. This is the day you have to show up. Because you were arrested as a result of the immediate investigation, they would then present the results of that investigation to the law director's office, who would then review it and decide whether or not to file the charges, which they did. And that's why there was a warrant. That's why it says there was a warrant for your arrest, but there's no warrant for your arrest. All right. Okay. All right. You're not guilty, please.
I believe her.
Why? Because of her voice? She
And who
got
posted the
you.
bond for you?
She's bamboozled me.
Okay. All right.
Obviously, she's got money. She's wearing a pink shirt. You think it's cool enough there to wear long sleeves
All right,
now?
here's what we're going to do.
She just said it's 75 there
You're
today.
not going to get your money back just yet, but you're not also not going to have to put down any more money to stay out of jail. I'm going to add a condition that you not have any contact with Taylor Smith while this case is pending. And
Taylor Swift
will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. And until unless a lawyer gets involved on your behalf, we're going to send notices directly to you. So make sure your address is correct on the bond paperwork that you sign. If you want to hire a lawyer, you can do that. If you want to apply for court-appointed counsel, you have the form already. If you're going to do that, turn it in today before you leave. We take into account both your income and your expenses. So even if you think maybe I make too much money, we've got expenses like rent and car payment and all that other stuff, we take that into consideration. So that being said, do you have any other questions today? All right. The record should reflect that I'm going to hand to you your copy of the complaint.
A Beverly Hills Steakhouse, come on down.
Indeed, come on down to the 10th of Beverly Hills Suburbs.
Yeah, he'll strike that.
Oh, absolutely.
Bring up your rights from court.
Ooh, saving the best for last.
Come on up.
Sad
you can raise
ponytail.
a complaint either because I've got it right here. So I'm going to read that to you.
Yeah, get ready to see a hurricane
Police Department was
coming
alleged on
too.
About September the 4th of this year within the city of Heath and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you, while voluntarily intoxicated in a public place or in the presence of 2 or more persons, engaged in conduct likely to be offensive or to cause inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to persons of ordinary sensibilities, which conduct you would have known if you weren't intoxicated, you should have known was likely to have that effect on others, and you were advised to desist.
Yeah, they said don't plug in your cars, your electric cars, because
It's an M4, so the maximum penalty is there, 30 days in jail up to a $250 fine. You understand? All right. How do you want to plead? Now, before I can accept your guilty plea, I have to ask you a number of questions. The first of which is, you have the right to be represented by an attorney, and if you couldn't afford one, we would give you one at absolutely no cost.
Crazy and drunk.
Was it your intention to give up that right? You have the right to.
Look, I'm not leaving this. I just want to show you this.
The state has the burden of
Can
proof.
you hear me, sir?
And you have a right to tell the judge or jury where that would take
Let's
place.
go over there. She's the last one. Let's stay here.
Matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Collins, and the file number is 22-02366. Council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Collins for the purposes of this arraignment.
Thank you. Mr. Collins, I have here a misdemeanor complaint. It alleged around September 7, 2022 at the area of 812.5 West Genesee, which is located in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, that you did allegedly in count 1 commit the act of domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon a Stephen Anthony,
Sorry,
a
Steve.
resident or former resident of your household, and or an individual with whom you have a dating relationship, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution may be ordered as
Beat up his
this
boyfriend.
may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor, sir. The maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be ordered if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you have a question, sir?
Your Honor, can you hear us at all?
I don't. I can see he's trying to say something.
I think
Can you hear us?
frozen.
No.
Yeah, Creed frame.
It does look frozen to me.
He'll be
Take
back.
that Creed frame and shove it right up your.
Take these Creed frames and shove them.
Prime barbecue. We've got our prime rib slow roasting all day Sunday. In fact, we slow cook it for 3 solid days. Come on down to 10.
We wanna put our meat in your mouth.
So he beat up his boyfriend. We got that much.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
gone. He's
oh,
gone.
look at her. She's like, well, whatever. Nightbot, good to see you.
Hey, Nightbot, get off our effing lawn, would you?
I'll just hang around and see if they log back in, Your Honor.
Will you hang around all you want there, Lauren? You got a busy day today, do you?
She can just hang. Very interesting to see that. Wow, look at the judge's hair. That is something else.
While we're waiting, for some reason, they're still talking over here.
Well, here's the thing. The probation department's not placing a holder on you because A, you're already involved in counseling, and B, you got the scram on after you reported for drug testing this morning. How long ago did I put you on probation? So not very long ago. And refresh my recollection. Do you work?
No, and that's kind of what all this is about, is me and my significant other were arguing about, like, I had a job interview and he didn't want me working there because he thought that I would drink or do, be in.
Where's the job?
It was beat up, so I used to waitress there.
All right. Well, that's probably not a good idea to work at a place that sells alcohol.
But see, I
She
would
did just say
actually
B-dubs,
have that,
right?
I was
Yes.
like, I want to treat you like a juvenile, I'm going to turn juvenile delinquent, which was completely,
So do you live at home with your mom?
no, I live 56 River Street.
My significant
With your other.
Yes, and his sister,
Does he work?
he gets benefits.
Gotcha. Okay. So you got arrested. Well, let's see. This all happened on the 4th, which was a Sunday. When did you post your bond? That night?
That night, which it might have been midnight. It was like right there teetering on midnight.
So how long were you actually at the jail?
Probably, it's embarrassing. I don't even know what time I went there.
Okay. Well, I can tell
Must
you
have been
from
a
the
fun night.
uniform incident report, they claim that it says that it was reported at approximately 5:40 in the afternoon. That was Sunday.
That's some day drinking on a Sunday. Nice.
And let's see, your bookend sheet says that you were there.
He gets all the benefits.
At 8. I'm sorry, at 6:30, and then your bond doesn't actually tell me what time it was because they just file stamped it once we were back in business on Tuesday. So it's hard to say what time you actually were able to post it. All right. Who was your lawyer for your OVI? Do you remember?
Miranda.
Mr. Miranda or Mrs. Miranda? Mr. Okay.
She's a cute little thing.
Anything else you want to say before I decide what to do here?
Perkiest tits you've ever seen, Creed.
And I also, Brent Richter is my PO. And he,
Correct.
He's disappointed because I guess you have a certain amount of time to tell them.
She's standing perfect spot, by the way.
And I
So get the back shot, side back shot.
He wasn't really happy about it because he knew. He always knows.
We know everything. We're always right.
I know.
So, yeah. Well, listen, as a consequence of this, you got arrested. I'm not going to here. I'm not going to impose any jail sanction. I will, however, order that you pay a fine of $150 plus the court costs. Did Mr. Richter want you to report after you finished here in the courtroom?
I've already reported and he put me on a scram and drive.
And he didn't say come back after your court hearing?
No.
Okay.
He was in here earlier. So.
Mr. Richter was? Okay. All right. Well, you're on paper for probably another 9 months, so you got to make sure you follow the rules. Did I put you on a complete prohibition? Or did I say don't drink to excess?
No, they told me don't drink at all.
Okay. All right. Okay. You have any other questions today?
No, just thank you.
All right. You may go with the bailiff. Good luck to you.
Go with Jesus.
Court will stand in recess.
Well, Creed, I guess
For
so.
licking, and he is obviously was just killed in his cell. So I think you're
I
right.
mean, can't be running your mouth about the wrong people, Creed. And if you've enjoyed today's show, please make sure you like this video, because if you haven't, you've really done a disservice to yourself and us as well. Don't be a jerk.
We'll see you at 4:05 for We Got a Chase. Wild Merman Wednesday. Is that his way
Extra,
now?
extra wild, Creed.
Extra wild today. Okay.
Yeah. Supersized.
Sweet.
Till next time. Mike out. I'm trying other people, YouTubers, catchphrases. I did use the mic out on that one. That's from that chapter. If you like that chapter, let me know.
Beams.
Huh?